Wow, 6.5 earthquake west of Chalice, Idaho. Yikes. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for March 31st. March 31st is the 90th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 91st in leap years, and 275 days remain until the end of the year. It is the last day of the first quarter of the year. Today's word is listerize. This is a verb which means to make antiseptic, clean things in an antiseptic way. An anagram for listerize is sterilize, and it means the same thing. This word is coined after Joseph Lister, who lived from 1827 to 1912. He was a surgeon and pioneer of antiseptic medicine. Earliest documented use of this term is 1888. Besides this word, some other things named after Joseph Lister are Listerine, originally a surgical antiseptic, the bacterial genus Listeria, and the slime mold genus Listerella. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes, and to ask you to go ahead and click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, stay to the end for outtakes, and remember that you can share this video with others, either by a link in your email or through social media. And with that, we're going to start in the year 1855, when English novelist and poet Charlotte Brontë died. On March 31st, 1889, the Eiffel Tower was officially opened. On March 31st, 1913, J.P. Morgan passed away at age 75. Daylight saving time went into effect in the United States for the first time on March 31st, 1918. On March 31st, 1930, the Motion Picture Production Code was instituted, imposing strict guidelines on the treatment of sex, crime, religion, and violence in film in the U.S. for the next 38 years. In 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps was established with the mission of relieving rampant unemployment in the United States. The American actor Richard Chamberlain was born on this day in 1934, as was the American actress and singer Shirley Jones. Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II got together as a songwriting team when their previous respective songwriting partnerships didn't work out for whatever reason. The two hit it off and put their skills together to write what ended up as the musical Oklahoma. As I was gathering the information for this, I didn't think that this story would affect me as deeply as it did, but it was really a goosebump and tears to the eyes thing for me. I'm glad I'm able to report it in a calm, reasonable manner. No one at the time thought this show would do anything but flop. You know, it was an unknown team of writers putting the songs together, unknown people performing. They didn't have any star power behind it. It started with some other title that I don't remember now, but Oklahoma with an exclamation point is much more colorful. Anyway, it opened on March 31st, 1943, and was an overnight raging success. They went on to set a Broadway record of 2,212 performances before closing 5 years later, and it is still well known, with many, if not all of its songs, familiar to most people. And what extraordinary discipline I'm practicing not to break out in song for you right now. This is also the birthday of American actor Christopher Walken, born March 31st, 1943. On this day in 1951, Remington Rand delivered the first UNIVAC 1 computer to the United States Census Bureau. Wonder what they use now. On March 31st, 1959, the 14th Dalai Lama crossed the border into India and was granted political asylum. On this day in 1966, the Soviet Union launched Luna 10, which later became the first space probe to enter orbit around the moon. On March 31st, 1968, American President Lyndon B. Johnson spoke to the nation of steps to limit the war in Vietnam in a television address. At the conclusion of his speech, he announced, "I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president." On March 31st, 1980, American sprinter and long jumper Jesse Owens passed away at the age of 66. We mentioned him the other day. He got a posthumous Presidential Gold Medal. The Tejano music star Selena was murdered by her fan club's president, Yolanda Saldivar, at Days Inn in Corpus Christi, Texas, after accusations of Saldivar embezzling money from Selena's fan club. This took place on March 31st, 1995. The Matrix was released in theaters on March 31st, 1999. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that links to my research are included in the show notes. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share if you found this video interesting, informative, or entertaining in any way. Don't forget to stay tuned for those outtakes. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. I'll go look at that in a minute. Let's read that again. I don't have all the text. We'll do that in a minute. Yeah, we'll probably leave that part out. So many mistakes. I don't know how all that's going to go together, or if it's even going to make it to the video. We'll just see. That's not going to go. Yeah, we're going to cut those out. That'll all be laying on the cutting room floor. So I'll just do that whole thing over. That might not make it into the video. We'll see. Changing it up.